Nope, that being me. Are fixed on you and you alone. Oh shit. Your ladyship's body was never recovered. We hoped against hope that you were still alive. Last, even our most alert auger operators never spotted anything suspicious. Thus our ignominious failure put you in dire peril. Hinder's gaze tenses and almost desperate is focused on you. It says nothing, at least for now. Yeah, everyone says the Space Marine's apparently not that good. Darwin Carr, what happened to your ladyship? The accursed Xenos tried to take your leader from you, but their plans failed. Once again with you. Are you with me? Death to the enemies of House of Atlantis. Show us the culprits and we'll tear their heads off, the lot of them, and stack them next to your throne, Lord Captain. This is so attaching. Where's my ship been all this time? The officers' council decided to take your ship to Footfall, where one can hear the gossip of the entire expanse. Our agents tirelessly searched for information about your ladyship. We even heard whispers that you were imprisoned. We've immediately launched a rescue expedition. While you were absent, Lord Captain, we made every effort to find you. It resulted in a number of modifications to the ship that have significantly upgraded it, thanks to a favorable deal secured by the esteemed High Factorum. The ship is now equipped with state-of-the-art Argus systems and direction finders from Cava Gam. State-of-the-art Argus, you say? I have need of those. Yeah, I'm waiting for a proper celebration. Begin at once, Lord Captain. Glory to the Outsider! Glory to the House of Atlantis! Your subjects triumphantly roar, sends a tremor through the bridge, as though the ship itself greeting its long-lost owner. Factorum smacks his lip awkwardly and adds an inquiring voice. Lord Captain, senior officers will report to you shortly. In your absence, we received a number of after messages and dispatches that demand your attention. Yeah, boy. The group of soldiers certainly stirs, their movements frighteningly identical even for automatons. They stare at you and say in perfect unison, "Hello, Nemos, have come to welcome you back. We sense a great deed has been done, a vivid imprint on existence. You did something very important. What was it? Escape from the dark city of the Xenos and showed them mercy. It suits you. We see in you light and connections without the urge to destroy." Did Nemos say it correctly? The servitor chorus, which sounds as a single voice, falls silent. Nemos appears to be waiting for your response, in eager anticipation. I'm glad you're learning to understand me, Nemos. After a long pause, servitor chorus responds with unexpected forcefulness. Nemos are glad too. We must go now. We will speak with you later. Another pause falls. It is so long that the silence becomes more piercing than a scream. Then the servitors finally break it. We felt sadness when you could no longer communicate with you, and we were worried about your fate. One can detect the naked eye the movement when Nemos leaves the bridge. The servitors stop moving and sink and slowly shuffle off to their posts. You see what missed? We need to talk. With your information, I think we should continue this conversation in your study. We only have one or two questions. Woodman, Hendricks says with a distracted nod, his eyes glued to you as though trying to ascertain that it is really you, not just some devious lookalike. His face is pale and drawn, with dark shadows under his eyes. He's not been sleeping. I'll only take a minute of your time. Just need to know what happened to you. I was kidnapped along my red. I was in Kamara. That's unbelievable. No, that's unbelievable. What's unbelievable is that you return from that place. Say that no one ever returns from. How did you bear the ordeal? You alright? I felt terrific. You ever look a little peaky. Peaky? Nick strokes in the words without even realizing he's stiff close to you. As I make mistakes, but this ordinary trigger disappeared from under my nose. This is a new one for me. I gutted that accursed place where you disappeared. I found traces of Drukari presence. I searched everywhere Xenus inside. I tried everything to shake information out of the prisoners. She used this new method to use to try and find you, and suddenly he's standing right in front of you, his eyes locked on you with a glint of barely restrained fire. Next. Suddenly, as he gazes into your eyes, captivated. Then, as though tired of resisting, he urges and kisses you. You forget yourself, interrogator. Henrik's recalls fear and shame drawn on his flushed face. I humbly beg your forgiveness, look at me. It must be my lack of sleep. I don't know what I was thinking. I will not inflict my presence on you any further. Oh, Henrik's my baby. Oh, fuck, I'm gonna have to do. Oh, boy. Don't mean. Oh, fuck. Calm down, I'm fine, see? Cabela's eyes glisten. She lowers her gaze. She steps closer, carefully touching you as though trying to confirm you're not merely a figment of a despondent mind. I believe you. I knew you were alive. I saw your shadow in the lab looking for a way out, meandering in the darkness, yet still guided towards salvation by his light. Now you're here, Domain. Right here, where your blade rested in its sheath, pointless and useless. Nobody could have foreseen what happened. The Undying One was giving me signs. Must have warned me, but I failed to see. On the day you and I bonded in the lab, something upset the order of things. All the Visitor taught me, all the things that make me what I am. And here we are, reaping the fruits of my irresolution, my weakness. Not but his providence saved you from fail and outrighteous death. What are you trying to say? I didn't demand irreproachable surface. Only thus are we able to read the hearts and see threads. The blood-spun white will not accept failure. You're just overreacting. Yes, I am. And that is the very downfall I'm facing. You don't understand what I'm telling you. You don't even understand. You as devoted to your thread as I am to mine. Ponder our bond. Perhaps our bond is not as heavy a burden on your heart as on mine, don't we? Though, I'm not the only one you've bonded with.
The evasive Viljai is not your equal, neither in soul nor in thought. Her shallow words and farcical deeds are but a colorful shell that cannot conceal just how little remains of her teetering faith.
Via your letters spawn of heresy, yet you act as if you and the Xenus were close. Version born of whim, this unnatural tolerance. I fail to understand. Is the Eldari's doing, or a shortcoming of your own soul?
Vilmarjai. How could you accept him into your faithful host? Already he has sunk his claws into your soul. I can feel his venom within you. Tear out this treacherous needle, or he will drink your soul to the last drop.
The web demands that we create distance between us. I cannot bear to be your blade so long as thoughts and worries of other kinds shroud my path in the labyrinth. Alright, let's pretend there was never anything between us. So be it. Domain. Oh boy. What now? I've just had a really shit day. I lost the damn spaceman. I must report high compromising information about a member of her retinue, namely Mistress Jai Hadar, who it turns out is nothing of the sort, but a commoner, fugitive of the law, and a deserter from the Imperial Guard. Solid evidence to prove it. How the fuck do you know that? In your ladyship's absence, the person whom we presently know as Jai Hadir made a concentrated effort to find you. After contacting all the cultures in the sector, Hadir approached an individual by the name of Mercy, highly influential and infamous figure in the Casabolic mission. He was paid an eye-wateringly sum directly from your own coffers. Fearing that the predatory investigation of the select would pose a threat to your coffers, began my own investigations. It It was entirely reasonable to suspect collusion with some kind between Hyderia and the Mercy, so my suspicions were confirmed. The two were connected. It was from Mercy's associates that I acquired the compromising intelligence on Hyderia. I want to know the details. I may have overlooked some nuances, but I have solid evidence that the person we know as Jar Hyderia served in the 19th Ifrit Regiment and is identified as a perpetrator of numerous instances of theft and smuggling, as well as desertion. This individual is not of noble birth, but the lowest origins. This better be incontrovertible. It is your leadership. Official records from the Understratum attest to the Department Militorum, and much more besides. I want to see her. We're gonna have a talk about this. Especially after you got me my fucking pet. Shocked me, did you, you little wannabe quest star? Joe's voice bearing an ungo spark of stark transformation. Biting soldier sling cuts through a typical general speech. Don't miss a thing, your servants, Woden. And they're sneaky as too. They'll climb up what Grok says to find what they want to know. I think we need to talk about your past. Only if the scum slings his hook. Jay now looks much pale. At the now much paler than Urkel.
Well, your ladyship, ask away. I'll tell it like it is. I'm not going to try to wriggle out of it.
Tell me your story.
So what do you want to hear, Shireen? A children's tale about a beautiful princess? A ballad about a queen of thieves? How about a new story, Shireen? Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived on a sand-covered lump of rock, and the core of that rock contained untold riches for servants of the Imperium. The girl scraped out those riches with her little hands, breaking her back and coughing up her lungs, on behalf of people who had never clapped eyes upon her, and who would never know her name. She did this every day until she turned 16, and then his servants came and drafted the girl into the 19th Ifrit Regiment. Can you imagine? Of course, the regiment was wiped out on its first sortie. But the girl survived. The Exalted One protects. So what was next? Years serving in the Astra Militarum, just a shitload of hard labor, and fighting, and deals, and shady connections, and new opportunities. But everything in this world ends sooner or later, Shireen. The now not-so-little girl went and fell in with the Kasbalika. She saved up a little gold, and she even indulged in excess from time to time. Until living the good life almost cost the little girl her head after her patrons got caught in an internal investigation between the Officio Prefectus and Departamento Munitorum.
1 second, chat. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go pick up some trash.
So the girl ran as fast as her little legs could carry her, until her eyes and the whims of fortune brought her to the expanse. A shitty story, all things considered, Shireen.
Do you have any family?
The folks on Footfall are my only family, Shireen. The trickster twins and the rest of the rabble, plain-talking and loyal as dogs. And sometimes as dull as the pommel of a worn-out blade. Corporal Haydari reporting for duty, ma'am. I've had enough of the Astra Militarum shit to last a lifetime, Shireen. And my body's collected enough souvenirs from run-ins with Xenos and heretics to last 2 lifetimes. Except when it comes to the Guard, there's no such thing as used to be. That wretched life sank its claws into me good. But that also means I remember what it's like to be a small, shaking, insignificant pawn. And that's why I appreciate what I have now, all the more. What? You think it's difficult? Once me and my fellow guardsmen snuck into the upper city in search of a good watering hole where the high and mighty of that world congregated. Another time, our regiment was sent to defend the tallest spires on a hive world. And I had an epiphany. I saw how the other half lives. And by half, I mean the ones born with a diamond spoon in their mouth, instead of an entrenching shovel rammed up their arse. My eyes were open to the truth, Shireen. The Imperium is full of opportunities, even for people like myself. The trick is knowing whose palms to grease, whose boots to lick, whose throat to squeeze, and whose arses to kick. I was very popular with everyone in the Guard Command, you see. I'd procure things for them, whatever they wanted. And so the Kasbalika took notice. You know, Shireen, I could still be bouncing around from one world to another, holed up on tired old ships with only venal grunts for company, if I hadn't decided I wanted more for my life. I accepted a shipment from the Kasbalika of certain chemicals. You know, for carnal pleasures and the like. Some bigwig was throwing a party to celebrate his 5th decade in the service. And that's when I caught the attention of the newly arrived commissar. I was rummaging through the pockets of Astra Militarum with one hand, and shoveling the Kasbalican cargo with the other. You can imagine what would have happened to my head had the commissar not started with my higher-ranked patrons. It was orcs.
Oh, don't mention the orcs. Now I'm
Not
sad I don't get to
everything I
fight
say
them.
is a lie, Shireen. Whoop the fu- Never mind. It's not as if I could just abandon you. Even smugglers have principles and feelings. Unfortunately, all I managed to do was spend a pile of your thrones without anything to show for it. None of the operatives who do business with Xenos knew where to find you. Not even Mercy. I shouldn't have reached out to him. He helped me move to the Expanse and set up business here a long time ago. But I liked it better when he was safely in my past.
About your new persona.
Are you worried I'm going to start spitting on the deck and shriveling your officers' ears with my foul tongue? Don't be, Shireen. I much prefer being seen as a princess rather than a deserter. I'll continue to play the part in front of the others, but you wanted to talk frankly, so I've dropped the act. Sir, yes sir, your ladyship, Shireen. I'll be here, all primed and ready to go.
Now then, Lord Captain, shall I get to business? We have a number of items to go over. Ah, fuck, paperwork. Ow! I should have stayed in camera. First and foremost, I have news about your subjects. Time you're gone, the servants of House von Valanciers have toiled tirelessly in their service to you in the benefit of the entire trade protectorate. Did they get me that fucking eviscerator yet? Once the word of your return reaches every von Valanciers world, why the masses will be ecstatic. Never before has the expansion or leader as merciful as you. The fanatics of the Creed may whisper about the heresies of the mind blood begrudging under your rule, but your benevolence has forever captured the souls of millions of ordinary subjects. Oh, god damn it. 3 new worlds to go get, huh? Well, rogue trader's work is never done, I suppose. The expanse is inflamed, your ladyship. Squadrons and smaller groups of despicable Drukhari radar systems. Didn't they learn? The cult of the Final Daughter has emerged in full force, wreaking havoc everywhere. We've heard rumors of the fall of Sentinel's pride, Hospital's world, and how outrageous sacrilege, given how abundant and immense Prometheum is there. Strife has broken out between House Winterscale and House Corda. Chaos reigns everywhere. Only the esteemed Lord Inquisitor is trying to fight it, concentrating all available forces on footfall to draw them into the fist that will smash the heretics and scum. What kind of Xenos are attacking the place? Drukhari Legion. Squadrons both large and small invading the expanse, unleashing carnage on planets, taking captives by the thousands and attacking ships, as if something has poked their nest, if you will. Now they're lashing out. So, Xavier Calazar is leading the defense? Exactly. The esteemed Lord Inquisitor Calazar has declared himself warden of the Chronos Expanse and issued orders to requisition troops. He's made footfall his base of operations, as it was the most logical, logistically convenient point. From there, his fleet strikes throughout the Expanse, destroying the forces of the cult of the Final Dawn and the abominable Drukhari. He may be all that currently stands in the way of the Expanse being reduced to ashes. Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about how I'd even want to do the co-op thing. When the heretics laid siege to Ephros, too, the hallowed forge of the Cognate's fleet, the Lord Inquisitor sent out an enormous force. They and the explorator squadrons were called from the front lines, stand together against the heretics in the battle for the sacred planet. Well, how fare the worlds? The heretics' malicious activities make it difficult to maintain astropathic contact with the colonies. The cult of the Final Dawn strikes everywhere. Their sleeper agents are active on every planet. On Veba 6, a mutiny is crushed after a group of newly arrived prisoners succumb to blasphemous propaganda. But other worlds stand firm against the onslaught of the enemies of humanity, do not succumb to their pernicious influence. Oh, that's always the goddamn prison planet. Okay, so what's the source of the strife between the two other dipshits in my fucking protectorate? When the esteemed Lord Inquisitor called upon the rogue trader to join his forces, her ladyship in Isidina Cordia heeded the summons, while his lordship, Calgos Winterscale, ignored it. Rumor has it that his refusal was defiant in manner, and served as a pretext for Lady Corda to declare war on House Winterscale. Winterscale's ships are being hunted, and his worlds occupied under the Protectorate for compiling them to submit to the Imperial Creed. Surprisingly, for all his love of fighting, Winterscale is in no hurry to defend his domain. According to the intercepted astropathic message, he and his retinue are currently on the Quasar-Timor hunting down a Xenos fleet. Eldari, by all appearances. Anything else? There have been other minor developments, if you so wish. I'll gladly bring you up to speed on the bridge. I would not want them to take any time away from this occasion. Thank you for the report. Well, Captain, let me make a request. A personal one. While you were away, the choir master received an astropathic message from Ingonus. Concerns my family. Worse have been accused of treason against House von Valancius. How is that? What the fuck? I cannot comprehend it. The Warsons have served the Rogue Trader dynasty loyally for generations. This is hard to admit, but the news has come as a crushing blow. The accusations were levied by, or on behalf of, the Drivestones. That sounds about right. The governing house. Under normal circumstances, the investigation would not have required your involvement, but in my family would have been. But being of noble stock, the Warsons are entitled, under the ancient customs of petition, for a rogue trader's personal protection once in a generation. Your personal protection, Lord Captain. Do not deny us that honor, I implore you. What if they are guilty? I don't want to believe it, but what if? Then the traitors will accept their due punishment. I've never relied on my position as an immunity guarantee. I will not try to sway your decision, as long as it is fair and balanced. Tell the choir master to send a message saying I'll personally take part in the investigation. Our Lord breathes a sigh of relief and seems to grow an inch or two taller. It will be done, Lord Captain. Oh my fucking god! I just want to talk to Yarlet! Please! Idira hurriedly enters the study, sniffling and hunching her shoulders. She looks haggard. There are bags in her eyes, her hair is disheveled, and her hands quivering slightly every few moments. With some effort, she focuses her eyes on you and forces a crooked smile. Thank you for agreeing to hear me out, Lord Captain. Here's the deal. After all that recently happened, the voice in my head started flaring up and started gabbling worse than before. Don't get the wrong idea, I'm handling them just fine, but I think I know of a way to get them to settle down a bit. I keep having the same vision over and over again. I'm walking down the corridor, there's a door at the end, and I just know that right behind that door is blissful silence. All I've got to do is reach out and open it, so I touch it with my fingers. I feel the cold, rough metal, and then I suddenly snap out of it, and always find myself staring at the wall of some compartment or another. But behind me, the doors are all open. I have no memory of how I got there. Look, Captain, I'll cut the chase. Please help me find that door. I'm not joking, this is a matter of life and death. My gut tells me this is my last chance to deal with my powers, and if I don't... I have some questions. Absolutely, okay. Ask me anything, I'll try my best to answer. What do you think is behind the door? I have no idea. Maybe it's some incredible implement from the Tech Priest's secret stores? Or, I don't know, a serum to kept in the Inquisitor's vault? There's such thing as aerotech, right? Plenty of it lying around. Maybe some of it could help me. Dara is trying to maintain a facet of confidence while simultaneously a hangnail so hard her finger starts to bleed. Do your visions contain any clues on where to start looking? Vague ones, as usual. I think I hear the muffled cries of some weird birds. My head is sweating like it's somewhere hot, surrounded by rockcrete. Your everyday imperium stuff, except it reeks of burnt flesh, fried cables, and chemicals. Sorry, that's about it. Nothing more concrete, but I think if we get close enough, I'll sense it immediately. Is the door similar to the door the whispers come from? No, well, I don't know. It feels different. The ones from my vision feel very, I don't know, real. I can even touch it. It's definitely not an illusion. It really does exist somewhere, and trust me, neither of us wants to open the other door. Whispering one. I find it difficult to believe that suppressing your abilities is safe. Oh, it's really, really not. I'm sure you heard stories about people who tried to lock Psyker's abilities away for good, and how those Psykers would eventually go insane and explode into little pieces. But if there's a way, not to shut my door completely, to make it a tiny little crack remains, now that's a different story. I can just feel it. If we find this thing, whatever it is, it'll be alright. What if it's a trap? No way, it can't be. Whatever, I'll go alone if you'd like. Just please help me get there. We'll find this door. I give you my word. Thank you, Lord Captain. I knew you wouldn't leave me in a bind. As soon as I sense we're close, I'll let you know right away. The Exalted One bless the House of Valence for your largeness of spirit, Chelin. And now you have deigned to speak with me. She turns, unusually hesitantly, now tentatively choosing words carefully that only a moment ago rolled off her tongue in an uninterrupted cascade. Here's the thing, Chelin. Oh no, the traders representative has stretched a little too thin recently, like the coffin dresses on a whore. Supplies are all over the place, orders aren't being fulfilled, clients are kicking off, and not without reason. The revenue is plummeting. If that wasn't bad enough, my guys running things from Footfall have been incommunicado recently. The astropathic message has finally come in to tell me why some ashmag, or ashmags, thrown to smite them, has captured my gang. They're threatening to kill every last one of those hard-grifting whelps if I don't do what they want. They only want one thing, my merchant tableau official in exchange for my gang's lives. She tosses her thick mane of hair and grits her teeth, looking more vicious than you've ever seen her. But I'm not going to give up my certificate for anything, and nor am I going to leave my guys high and dry. So I'm begging for your help and protection, Chetty. If I have to step into a cage of hyenas, I'd rather do it with a lion at my side. Tolman did not say you sent the message. Sheldon, you know yourself that all the Ashcraft chit-chat is none but a stream of images, thoughts, and intentions. Nothing concrete. But I don't need the names of the sender. I already know it. I can smell Falco's stench all over this. Or else it's Vladim's game. It's just the damn Ashman style. Has it taken? Could be a bluff. It could be Sheldon. I've been missing the familiar stench of the docks and darling Octi and her bar. And even the stony gaze the Exalted One that watches over you whenever you are on footfall. I'm homesick, you see. The tender smile vanishes from Jaw's face, leaving a nakedly blank expression behind. The Exalted One helps those who help themselves, Sheldon. I don't want to risk the lives of my people. When you reach it, I'll help you. I look forward to that day, Sheldon. Praise the Exalted One for bestowing such a miserly portion of haughty indifference upon your heart. Henrix, what can I help you with? Woden. Henrix gives you a curt nod and greeting. I apologize for barging in unannounced. I have news that I must discuss with you face to face. You may recall that I mentioned Achilles. That Achilles Scalander was transferred into my regiment by a colleague. A colleague in question has contacted me. She requires my immediate assistance. Who is this colleague? Emma Linktot, Sage of the Lord Inquisitor. But tell me more about her. An acolyte who is assigned a different range of objectives in the Chronos Expanse. Don't take me. I am still trying to hide information from you, even when I'm asking for your help. Emily is a sage, a unique acolyte of the Inquisition who can absorb huge amounts of knowledge and store it in her own memory even more securely than any data crypt. She entered the Lord Inquisitor's retinue before even I did. Talking to her is a strange experience, but that is barely scratching the surface of who she is. Emelina is an incredible scholar, an expert on the forbidden and the illicit. And of course, she's a loyal servant of the Golden Throne. You say talking to her is strange experiments. What do you mean? Since birth, Emelina has been different from other people. Specialists from the Inquisition enhanced her natural gift of hypermnesia. There are certain procedures that can be done. She creates separate blocks of memory. which she can then lock under a code word and even overwrite with new information. She can organize her mind like a normal person, arranges boxes on a shelf. One box might contain information about a recent mission in the Calyx. Another relates created the Lex Imperialis. Another her own childhood memories. This level of compartmentalization might seem somewhat insane to the untrained eye, but it is the price one must pay to turn an ordinary servant into a useful tool for the Inquisition. You said the forbidden illicit. What does that entail? Emelina carries knowledge that is forbidden to common servants of the Imperium. She carries this knowledge within herself, as it cannot be entrusted to logs or cogitators. Nix frowns. I said before, the acolytes of the Inquisition must shoulder a heavy burden to come into contact with things that can penetrate and corrupt the soul. For sages, this is an especially trying ordeal. Emelina's hyperamnesia has been enhanced so that she now remembers everything she sees, however briefly. In many years of service, she has examined and seen enough to become an unrivaled expert in this field. You speak of her with obvious affection. She receives you a crooked smile. Emelina is something of a mentor to me. She helped me when I had only just the Lord Inquisitor's circle. She taught me psi techniques to maintain my focus and equanimity. She trained me in the fires of working with archives and data crypts. She gave me the chance to unwind a little my post by playing games of regicide with her. Oh, that's why he's into that game. I believe I have a clear picture of Emelina now. What was her message? Emelina's words is incomplete and distorted. It's impossible to make every sense of every word. The only thing we know for certain is that an acolyte of the Inquisition is asking me to go immediately to Parton 4, a remote planet. In her message, she seems to be requesting either military support or help with an evacuation. But whatever perpetuated this request, Emelina would not have made it if it wasn't absolutely necessary. I know a rogue trader has more than enough matters to deal with. Nonetheless, I would like to officially request the Lord Captain's assistance with this issue. I have no authority to demand anything from House von Valancius. Therefore, I am confining myself to a request, for the sake of the Cronus Expanse and the Imperium. Is there any hint of what's threatening it? For the avoidance of leaks, the details of the objective of specific acolytes shall remain a secret. All I can tell you is that the primary threat of Emelina was dealing with in the Cronus Expanse was Xenos, particularly Drukhari raids on distant systems. Sage is ideally suited for gathering data about chronology of this problem, finding appropriate methods for combating it. As for what Emelina was doing on Proton 4 specifically, I don't know. I don't even know any details about the world itself, or if there are humans there, so either it's been colonized or a garrison's been established there. The cult of the Found On has been my top priority here. And my investigation has given me no cause to turn my attention to that planet. I'll help you. Let's go there and put an end to this threat. Thank you, Lord Captain. Confident this minor deviation from our primary course will help stem the spread of anarchy in the Cronus Expanse. If only slightly. At the very least, we won't be outflanked. I've already spoken with the navigation crew and provided them with the coordinates of Proton 4. We can set course for it as soon as you give the order. Enough Xenos. This will be done one way or another. Slither all you like, heretical spawn, but you'll never leave this ship unscathed. The bridge is enveloped in unusual sounds. The officers on deck are huddled in corners, looking curious at what has transpired. What is going on? Catching sight of either curious crew members dashed their post, leaving only the senior members in the middle of the bridge. For how long are you going to tolerate this filth in your ship? Lucy Bowden missed. This foul traitor has already dragged you into the darkness once, and who almost left your protectorate without its sovereign. Rook traitor, has Eldari heresy clouded your judgment? Treachery always means death, either for the traitor or the one betrayed. You almost died in Kamara, your retinue. You know what became of them. Is it not high time justice was done? Those present will nod wordlessly, but do not dare interfere. Your wonderful path has led you into a rather thorny situation, cousin. You first to beg for mercy in Kamara, and now you have to lick the boots of the Monkai. Silence, Xenos. Your turn will come. Yarla does not react to the curses being slung at her. With an imperative expression, she watches the crowd before her, then her eyes turns to you. Anyone else want to share their fucking thoughts? You know, Lord Clayton, I will support any order given, but to keep the Xenos in the retinue, especially after everything that has transpired because of her, it would not be wise. The enemies of humanity have no place among humans. Know this. Death is far too merciful a sentence. What I endured was far more terrible. Alright, we'll apologize to everyone, and then that'll be it. And now the Ajrat will walk on her hind legs before the Monkai. I just had to drop by to see what all the fuss is about. Its face contorts in a mix of emotions, from anger to hatred to dejection and despair, but soon she musters her courage, and a slate, barely audible voice says, "Words will not heal the wounds on your bodies, and still, I regret what you had to endure because of me. Words will not fix what has been done." The Xenos' apologies ring hollow. There's neither repentance nor truth to them. Pointed by the outcome of the confrontation, the officers present slowly return to their duties. I would have never left you at their mercy. Rillet smiles slightly. Of course not. You're you. Are you alright? Your Monkai have had it even worse. I'll live. The wounds of my soul will eventually heal. You'll live too, but their souls will forever bleed painful memories. If you shared with them what you shared with me in Kamara, they surely would have understood your actions. Those words were meant for only you, Elentok. You are the only one I can trust my feelings. Only to you can I bear my mental wounds. We have a special history, a special bond, but I do not care about the others. They'll forgive you. Not all of them, and not all right away, but they will. Stop it. You cannot believe that, Elentok. You don't need words of comfort. The words of those Monkai do not touch my soul. Only your thoughts matter. Yours and mine. Do you really not care about what happened, or are you trying to conceal your true feelings again? I'm sorry that my mistake led everyone to the path of the Dark City. I can see their pain and rage. I understand, but words and pity will not help them. Meantime, perhaps revenge will dull their pain for a little while. But you have taken away their chance for revenge, Elentok. And all we can do now is wait. Now, it's time to get back to work. Do not leave just yet, Elentok. Before you do, answer my question. I know we've talked a great deal, and you've accepted what I did, but I also know that the mind and emotions are not always in accordance. Now that the raging waves of danger have died down, and Kamara is left far behind, what are your thoughts of me? You already became part of my world. You have done something disagreeable, guys. Nah, Everyone makes mistakes. It's true of both humans and Eldar. Wish I could argue otherwise. A short laugh escapes Yurlet's lips. But I made a mistake. I concealed my feelings and emotions from you. Perhaps you would have done the same, but as long as we walk the same road, we have a chance to become better than we were before. Till we meet again, Alantar, the darkness scattered into a myriad of new stars before.
Oh, who's my good puppy?
Talk to Yurlet now.
The Dark City released us from its thorny embrace. The wounds of the body will heal. But what about the wounds of the soul? Cruderok fell, and its demise shattered the fragile lives of countless children of Osirian. Scattered across this part of the galaxy, hounded by the monkey, pursued by the Dark Cousins, imprisoned by the servants of She Who Thirsts. Hatred is strangling me like a snake, and fear is coursing through my body like a burning poison. For the path I chose is leading me down the roads of failure. I can neither hold back my grief, nor rein in my anger. And yet, I am powerless to stray from my path. Pay no heed to my fleeting wrath, Alantark. When the will slips away, the soul trembles with rampant emotions. But I will resign my heart to meekness, for there is no other way a marked outcast can help their fellow Eldari wandering in the dark.
A lot of things happen, Kamara. You alright?
I found myself in the Dark City after following the twisted roads of truth and lies. And although the truth blossomed like an ugly bud and scratched my soul with its thorns, I did find the answers to my questions. Those who come back from the dark of the webway will never be the same. But it is we who change while the surrounding world remains imminent. This thought gives me strength.
Greg suffered an unenviable fate. I'm sorry for your loss.
I have no need for your sympathy, Alantark. Besides, neither Monkey nor my dark kin found the decaying remnants of Cruderok. Perhaps all is not lost. Perhaps we may yet bring back what has been taken.
So, where's your path lead you now?
On the trail of a monkey called Caligos Winterscale. Even a worm may harm a wounded tiger by bringing infection into an open wound. And the wounds of my people have been bleeding ever since Cruderok's demise. The spirits of my kin need a poultice, a hope, not the executioner's sword already poised to fall.
What happened to the seer? What happened to
As
the seer now?
soon as Eklendil gathers his strength, he will depart the Lilithon through the Webway Gate. Do not ask where his path takes him. He follows the road of his own destiny. It is as it should be.
I'd like to ask some other
You
questions.
may try.
Yeah, I'll take that leave.
Take heed, Nemo. Our blessed... Maybe a...
Okay.
You are spoiling me with the splendor of your presence. Oh,
Anything fascinating happening over here?
Messiah, may
How are you feeling? Healers done their job?
Indeed they have, Lord Captain. The rejuvenating procedures have turned the clock back once more. Just don't ask me how many needles our chirurgeons had to stick in me to make it happen. But I am recovered from the ills of old age. Well, most of them. One cannot evade death forever. Every time I come to the brink, it takes another bite out of me.
I'll take my leave. Till next time.
Lord Captain.
What to say, where's my Dark Eldar friend at?
Rogue trader.
I want to know more about you and your cabal.
Ask your questions. I will decide which is worthy of an answer.
You speak low Gothic. Knowing your kind, you couldn't have learned it willingly.
It was a punishment. One of my raids was not as successful as it should have been, and Irimaris ordered Tavantius to forcibly implant the knowledge of the repulsive monkey language into my mind. Supposedly so that I could at least benefit the Cabal by coaxing the monkey into their cages. 5 days I spent under a cerebral burner in the Spire's main hall, to the delight of Irimaris' entourage. I dislocated every joint, struggling in agony against my shackles. But I would endure it all again to expel this poison from my head.
So what's a Dracon?
The Drakon is the first among the blades of the Cabal of the Reaving Tempest, and the Drukhari who stands but one rung below the Archon. The Drakon leads raids and wages wars against other Cabals, keeps the arrogant true-born and half-born upstarts at bay, and has the pick of any opponent in any battle. Irimaris used to have others in her inner circle, but I ensured that they all disappeared one by one, and that their successors were too terrified to take their place. That was when my sister engaged an incubi order to serve as her bodyguards. Incubi do not respond to fear or bribes.
So what started such a nice sibling rivalry?
Must there be another reason beyond survival and ambition? Kamora does not tolerate weakness. Kamora respects only strength and cunning. Either you climb upward on the corpses of your enemies, or you become one of the steps underfoot.
So how are you only a Dracon and not its archer?
Keep your arrogance in check. Irimaris was clever and deadly, and if I had underestimated her abilities and strength, I would have been food for the Urgals long ago. The very fact that she surpassed me speaks for itself. I refused to give her cause to cast me out as a traitor. No, our rivalry, our little game that ran since our birth, took time. And another thing, when you're at the top, you need something to stave off boredom. This game amused us and terrorized the rest of the Cabal.
Big happy family we got here.
The Cabal of the Black Heart is the most ancient of all the Cabals, and the largest. It casts a shadow over all Kamora, and when the Black Heart strikes, you submit or you die. The Reaving Tempest was not prepared to perish, so when the Black Heart's shadow stretched as far as us, Irimaris' predecessors chose to bend the knee and become their vassals. Irimaris never liked the Cabal's subordinate position. Her words, and sometimes her actions, directed against the Black Heart, prompted whispers of discontent and fear among those who served her. I was not willing to renounce the protection of Asdrubal Vekt's own Cabal. If I had succeeded in overthrowing Irimaris with Nazrakay's aid, many within the Reaving Tempest would have supported me.
Vincius the Arch-Machinator. What's your connection to him?
Tevantius was Irimaris's ally, not mine. The Reaving Tempest is his patron, and patron also to the witches of the arena. I have had cause to seek out his artistry several times, and each time with difficulty. Of late, he's been gone from Camorra more often than he's been in it. He was probably in one of his lairs where he hides his other experiments and creations.
Any idea where his other layers might be?
After Tevantius quarreled with the witches and was stripped of the Cabal's protection, his havens in Camorra were turned into a deadly trap. I imagine they've been ransacked and destroyed by now. His other hideouts may be somewhere in the tangle of the webway, or in real space. But that last possibility is madness even for a homunculus.
When did you need his expertise?
When the grotesque of a rival Cabal ripped my arm off at the shoulder, when I needed a substance to wring the truth out of you in the Obsidian Court, when I had personal desires that only a master of flesh could satisfy.
What personal desires?
You are just dying to know, aren't you?
That's enough about him. More I listen, the more it seems that for proud Drukhari, you enjoy submitting.
An amusing example of a primitive mind. Any Drukhari towers over any monkey, and we do not conceal our attitude to livestock, but my Cabalite kin. Every one of them should be treated with caution, and those who have already demonstrated their power and might are a deadly threat in their own right. I do not revel in submission. I accept things as they are. And I wait until a point of weakness reveals itself and calls to my blade.
A Trueborn, what does that mean?
It is a caste in Camorra. Noble Drukhari born under certain circumstances. Their cradle before birth was not an amniotic gestational tube, but a living womb. Carrying a fetus for such a lengthy term is as good as a death sentence for a female Drukhari. She is too vulnerable to her enemy's attacks, and she is of no use on a raid. In Camorra, only the most powerful Drukhari, who are able to surround themselves with the best protection, can allow themselves such an extravagance. Farkaza Aziriesh, poisoner of Azdrujar, and Shaimish's elect, was one such exalted leader of the Drukhari. The result was worth the effort.
You have numerous titles. Tell me about them.
Eviscerator of Illiridas, Blaze of the Barkag Kingdom, and Slayer of Corocius the Pale. Illiridas was a world inhabited by our distant Eldari cousins, until I led a reaping raid there. The Barkag Kingdom was a separate cluster on the fringes of Camorra before it went to war with the Reaving Tempest, and by the time I left, I was wading through the blood of its inhabitants. And lastly, Corocius the Pale. He was an ancient homunculus who betrayed the Aziriesh at the behest of another Cabal. That was not a military victory, but a personal one. In his attempts to make himself invincible, Corocius had sown inside himself the deadliest creatures from the depths of Camorra. It did not save him. I cut out every one of his 8 hearts and sent them to his former coven as a warning to the rest. Are you sure?
I want to know more about your kind.
What exactly do you want to know?
How do you differ from the craft world, Eldari?
In all ways. The Asuriani are feeble shadows of our ancestors. We are their true inheritors. The Asuriani hide from she who thirsts behind their paths, relying on the visions of their precious Farseers. or blind to the reality around them. We Drakari laugh in the face of the unknown. We thrive off the carnage and pain we inflict.
Why are you kind of obsessed with pain?
Because the ecstasy of suffering is the highest form of pleasure, accessible only to superior beings. By your very nature, creatures like you are incapable of knowing such gratification.
Oh, a lie, no matter how sweet, Mazara, will remain a lie. Drakari cannot survive and escape the pool of chaos except by feeding off the suffering of others.
Careful. My tolerance for such remarks will run out eventually, even given your depressingly simplistic mind and non-existent instinct for self-preservation.
So why do you hide in the webway? Why not in real space?
Watch it. It is Monkey who run and hide, not our kin. Kamora is the legacy of our ancestors. They found a way to penetrate the tangle of the webway and move through its twisting labyrinths. Few would hazard to travel in this splintered kingdom, let alone erect bastions in it. The Drakari are the only Eldari who do not fear the horrors of the webway. For every peril we overcome makes us stronger.
Lazarus sounds sincere, but it's clear his truth that he is speaking. It's clearly his truth that he's speaking. Selena's face makes you think there's another reason why the Drakari race chose such a tentless dimension to be their home. I keep hearing the name Vect. Tell me about him.
No. No one speaks of the Overlord of Kamora without good reason. Amusing you is certainly not reason enough.
That's fine. I don't need to know about Vect. Emperor's text speech gave me all I need to know about my boy Vect.
Perhaps.
So
what else?
What do you plan to do next?
I must adapt to my new circumstances. And to this bucket that you Monkey call a void ship. These alloy bulkheads. So primitive.
Well, I
Then
gotta
go. I will find something to amuse myself with.
Greetings.
What? I have enjoyed your company.
Okay, well, I was just making sure nobody else had anything to say about Kamara. Oh boy. Trooper news has arrived from Janus, Your Ladyship. While digging an irrigation ditch, workers found a Xeno obelisk made of unknown materials. It was delivered to a laboratorium and subjected to a number of tests, one of which caused a reaction. The obelisk generated a low-frequency vibration. The events that followed were catastrophic. A series of anomalies were recorded in the Epsilon 2 Minoris region. It was almost like Janus itself was fighting us there. Many logistical chains have been disrupted. The people who have visited the uncontrollable territories are the wretches. The wretches fleeing deeper into the region in greater and greater numbers. There's a report strange fires in the sky at night, completely imperceptible to the augurs. The esteemed ultra questers are gathering outlaws and fortune hunters for an expedition to the heart of the region. They assume a priceless trove of xenomechanisms await them inside. What exactly is happening there? The vegetation demonstrated a remarkable ability for wild growth. It took the plant only 2 days to overrun the agri-complexes in the region. Extinct species of local megafauna have been spotted in the newly formed jungle. Aggressive and acting in a natural cohesion. How are the wretches involved? Do not know. as if they all received a signal telling them to abandon their work and rush deep into the afflicted territory. Some were stopped by the watchmen appointed by order. Fortunately, about 100 still made their way into the region. Alright, you can advise, let's hear it. Janus' natural world is rising up. It's a lucky coincidence that the planet boasts experts who specialize in both controlling and destroying life. Reports from the Magos Biologist Chapel make no mention of storing weapons of mass destruction, but I have no doubt they pose some. They always do. I see no reason to not let them use them against all this, whatever it is. A fortified research station in the affected sectors is recommended. The benefit of gathering more information justifies the increased casualty rate among personnel. The wretches know more about this pestilence growth than we do. Something must be quickly rectified. We should capture one of those mutants and force them to cooperate. That way we can learn what we're dealing with. Set up a research sector. May the Omissar be merciful to the souls who give their lives in the name of obtaining knowledge. The scouts who venture into the heart of the afflicted area discover ancient Xenos creations emerging from the ground. The younger reacted to the incursion by expanding and swallowing up some of the neighboring agricultures. Fortified observation stations were set up in the largest cluster of ruins. The priceless data and artifacts collected there were paid for with the lives of many watchmen who fought against the onslaught of Janus' enraged wilds. Absolutely. Where's my eviscerator? Colony project, huh? Is that it? Is that my baby? It's close, but I'm not sure it's exactly it. Yeah, why not? Yeah, sure, why not? Buy your way out. Perfect. Wait, hold on with that. That's a shrine world, baby. Yes! Perfect. Well, chat, out into the expanse we go once more. I think. Where's Janos? Yeah, we should probably deal with that death cult, huh? Look, Captain, there's an emergency at the officer's deck. Numerous victims, loss of communication. The Voidsmen report warp forces filling compartments. This is not a breach. This is Xenos who took on board Janus. He's gone mad and went on a rampage. I have two fairly reliable witness accounts. According to one, the Xenos randomly assaulted the crew members, cutting them seemingly at random. There were survivors who barricaded themselves in the adjacent compartments. Forces managed to isolate the raving Xenos in a dead end. They've been unable to pacify them so far. What will your orders be? Such are the consequences of ill-considered actions born out of the lack of faith in Emperor's laws. I'm ready to stop the accursed Xenos rampage personally. He would pay every life he has taken. Why am I not surprised? Roach, we cannot bring back your subject, but I'll gladly aid you in disposing of the rabbit creature before it mauls even more people. Alantok, I know the reason behind Ma's madness. Please, I must accompany you to the compartment. I will help you deal with the Dark One. Erlet, explain your words. Remember what happened during my first voyage aboard your ship. I found myself beyond the veil. The serpents of She Thirst descended upon the fragile shell that is protecting your vessel from the outside horrors and managed to break through. The soul of the Aldari shines like a beacon of light, drawing the gaze of Sashala and stroking her thirst. The ways of Ajuran keep us safe from her calls, but the Dark Ones. The Dark Ones never sought to restrain their desires for excess and pleasure as well as for some protection against our eternal enemy. When the voices of She Who Thirsts called out to me, I found refuge in meditation. I think Mazar started feeding his writhing soul instead, using the only method he knew. Going to the officer's deck immediately. The squadron forces who had blocked the Xenos in the dead-end corridor is waiting at the deck. Beg you, Lord Captain. I beg you to be careful, Lord Captain, and may the God Emperor watch over you. Oh boy, this can only go well. Perfect. Okay. You should have a plasma. Yep. Should probably pimp these two out a little bit. I mean, if that's already working for her. I like the idea of her just having two funny trick weapons. Alright, let's see what's happening.
Victory awaits.
Trap or treasure?
Jesus, holy
Data
shit.
meditation is terminated.
Yeah, that'll work.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Lord Captain, God Emperor be with you, and all of us too. Only you can deal with this spawn. Permission to report, your ladyship. It serves a few watches after the translation. Well, actually, they say this associate of yours has been acting strange even before that. It's as if he started hearing things. He was swiveling back and forth, barking something in Xeno's tongue. He grabbed his blade and sliced his hand open, his own hand. Then he suddenly howled and lunged at the people nearby. The voice of she who whispers. Yolette turns pale. He heard the call. Many of our kind find themselves beyond the veil, become tempting prey for Salatharash. And your own technology that protects the ship from her baleful influence cannot drown out the sound of her maddening voice. Can you see her? Is that real? See who, your ladyship? What are you referring to, Lord Captain? Nothing. Where is he now? Oh, the Xenos? He's holed up in there. He crawled a number of the crewmen in there like rocks to a slaughterhouse. Oh, we could hear where they screams. We couldn't save them, so we locked him in there so he couldn't crawl back out. As he finds a crack to screech through. The prospect of having a rabid Xenos crawling inside our bulkheads makes my heart sick. Well, we had to drag him out, then either put him on a chain or, forgive my bluntness, Lord Captain, let him down and forget that he ever existed. Who are the victims? Anyone who could get his hands on your ladyship. Officers, serfs, a technomat. He even attacked a servitor, although he didn't last long. He just tore its head off. Rest him though. The Xeno scum tortured the life out of them. Alright, I'm in then. We'll unblock it right away, your ladyship. If only there was a way to flush the fiend out without going in. Lord's mercy, I completely forgot. The late technomat, he turned on some security systems right before he bled out. We figured if the Xenos thinks about showing his face, the systems will get him. The point is, we should go with your ladyship. We should go with your ladyship, with your permission. It would be right for the Lord Captain to go in there alone. God, Emperor, help us all. Officer tries his best to speak calmly, but his voice is quivering. Thought of going inside the compartment that has become a death trap fills him with a dread bordering on panic.
It's about time.
Okay.
None shall stand in my way.
Keep a sharp eye.
Fuck it.
None are better at searching. I sense something nearby.
The funny thing is, I just had to let everything tear up.
I did fine. Done. Excellence matters. Follow my lead.
Attention to detail is the key to success.
I did fine.
Keep a sharp eye.
I rise to the occasion.
Oh shit. Mesrel jerks his head up when you appear. His already gaunt face is tightly wrapped in pale gray, parchment-like skin. His teeth are barred feverishly, and his dark eyes have turned into two pitch-black mirrors that could show your reflection clearly if you were to gaze into them. He opens his mouth, but instead of words, an unnatural rasp hissed out. This creature of a possessed intelligence, there's no sign of it left. At last, the resonant voice has followed you on your journey through the deck. Sounds like it's coming from every direction, chilling you to the bone. At last we meet my poor child. Look at him, Mortimer. Look how he yearns to return to the one who caresses his kind, whose caress his kind rejects so stubbornly. Come, child, follow my voice. My prince will grant you all the bliss and torment in this universe. Erla exclaims something in Eldari language. The Eldicator fails to process a rapid, elaborate speech. Without waiting for Mazda's response, she turns to you. Our Tarkin has lost himself in the fight against the pull of She-Withers. Allow me, Elentok. However great our differences are, however desolate and depraved the dark ways may be, I cannot blind my eyes and let Salash take him. Sooner or later, all his kind will step into my embrace. The prince is patient. The prince knows that every Eldari soul is already his. But if you let me get close to this lost child, you'll allow him into letting his guard down. My prince will reward you for seaworld mist. The soul of this pathetic Xeno is a small part of her for the blessings that come from my master's favor. I try to bring him back to his senses. Drakari stares at you without blinking, teeth still barred, his frenzied expression frozen like a mask. You hear hissing again, this time lower and angrier than before. This unit has received a sign from the Omnissiah. Pascal points at the metal platform beneath Maz's feet. The transferring plate upon which Xenos has so short-sightedly made his lair can be reconfigured to send a short discharge of the motor force. This unit could imprint a modicum of reason to this crazed creature. Mazur is half-crouched, his teetering slightly, and is the only movement you see. His body language shows that he's ready to attack, as to the blitzing blades he's holding. Mazur, can you hear me? Let's talk. Your confident voice reverberates through the room. Drakari blinks again. Mirror-like surface of eyes seem to ripple, as if something else is beginning to surface apart from the soul's reflection, something vaguely resembling awareness. How many disjunctions do you survive in Kamarad, Mazra? The warp is powerless as long as you refuse to let it take hold of you. Master yourself! Your words appear to have reached Mazra's mind. He shakes his head and closes his eyes, and you watch him take a deep breath and relax his shoulders ever so slightly. Why are you confusing and tricking the lost child? The end is decided. The end is inevitable. What about all the talk of the great Eldari race? You can see yourself now, you worthless, quivering beast. And Mirage was all it took for you to soil yourself. Ezra blinks, and his eyes ignite with a familiar look of fury and wounded pride. I'll rip your tongue and make you smother piece by piece along with your own teeth. The air behind Mazur rippled. And you watch as dimly a faint visible shadow silhouette bleeds out of the thin air. The horrible mouth is sneering triumphantly. Edge pencil is raising higher and higher. Mazur, behind you! He brings her pierce down Lazarus' head and clings against his raised blade. Lazarus crushes and shoves the shrieking warrior entity away from himself. No. No, you're mine, Lazara. You're mine! Oh shit. That's not the first time I've had to do this on my ship.
I won't heed your cries of mercy.
I'm getting the feeling it won't be the last. You two come back here. Out of our man, you are taking the front. Ooh, damn. Yeah.
To the brink of agony.
Running my neck override.
If it serves your cause. Soul slips beyond the veil. I am not your Xenos pet, monkey.
Oh shit, here they come.
Vile delights beckon you. Accept it. Embrace it.
Not a problem for me.
To the brink of agony.
Suits my purpose. Another clean strike. Already done. Nothing of value has been lost.
Tell me, and you will verify.
The scriptural prognosis is favorable.
Don't get too cocky.
My trajectory is suboptimal.
Minds exist only to be broken.
Ooh. The hell away.
Going somewhere? I can do that with the right incentive.
Not what I meant to do, but
Am I getting paid? Don't get too comfortable. I want a medal.
damn,
for
I
that.
love this shot.
I can do that with the right incentive.
I will heard the prayer.
My soul sings in ecstasy. to see.
If it serves your cause, I'll deal death with my hands. I understand your intent.
Embrace excess. Burn monotony.
All too easy.
The brink of agony.
Watch and learn. I'll bring glory to my bloodline. Aha! Another
Brink of agony.
There's
You
no
know, it's hard to
better
really
harm.
get into killing Danger. Disturbing hint.
Nothing I can't do. Suits my purpose beautifully.
Easy peasy. Mesmerizes turns to you, looking the same as ever, with the exception that you can see the grayish blue veins through his parchment skin, something resembling terror in his eyes. They're gone, Woden. Gone, but still lurking at the threshold, keeping watch. You can hear their whispers. How do Monkai bear them for days and days on end? You will hear those whispers every time the void vessel travels beyond the veil. Learn to accept this. Find an anchor for such times. Or lose yourself. An anchor, Azuran. That is for those who seek to delude themselves with false limitations. As long as I have victims and principles of lies, I won't let Slash claim me. Measure, are you sure you've regained your senses? I never. Measure gnashes his teeth. I forgot myself for a moment. Nothing more. Yours has caused me a great deal of grief. Your kind step beyond the veil is nothing but your crude technologies and prayers to a deaf god. And you expect those such as I to rely on paltry protection from the terrors of sheer thirst? For their own sakes, little cat, why are you even listening to him? That thirstiness is worse than a wild beast. How can a ship that sails in the God Emperor's light allow one of his enemies to act like he's the master here? The meat that serves you talks too much. It would, however, make for perfect playthings. At least sure you know to suffer through your oathless voyages beyond the veil. If I don't obtain a source of sustenance, Slash will only keep testing my limits. But Captain, the officer has a point. Those who continue like this, we might end up with a mutiny on our hands. Massacre during every work travel, as if we didn't have enough troubles to deal with on days like this. Fuck it, the lower bays. Look, find homeless people, kill them. See to them not disappointed with my allotted territory. If I begin to run out of sacrifices, I think your servants will be too terrified to become my next plaything to perform their duties adequately. Well-fed monk on the ship's brig, the factotum. I think it will solve the meat supply problem if it arises. Your ladyship! Woden, that meat is too loud. Control yourself. There's always next time, Woden. I will have my chance yet. Yeah. Okay. Well, now that's taken care of. Guess we can head out.
Victory awaits!
All I wanted to do was get to Janice, man. Nope. Wait, what? Oh no. No. But Captain, urgent message. Our forces have arrested a dangerous saboteur who attempted to gain entry onto the bridge. This incident may be worthy of your attention. You see, both the saboteur and the circumstances of capture are rather strange. It'd be easy for Magnus Pascal to take a look at him as well. What's so unusual? The thing is, Lord Captain, the saboteur is most definitely a tech priest. He found his way aboard the ship and penetrated all our security systems with staggering ease. Both his ability to communicate with machine spirits and the combat potential of his augmentations are extraordinary. Nevertheless, the enforcers managed to capture him. During the arrest of the intruder, he offered no resistance at all. Said he asked for an audience with the great machine spirit. When he realized that the enforcer had no idea who he was talking about, he asked to meet with you. I considered it necessary to appraise you of the situation. This infiltration of the Rocher ship, operated by authorized engineer, casts doubt on my tech comrade's stability. If he is indeed my tech comrade, that is. Regardless, I request permission to communicate with the captain. With the captive. Very well, let's see him. Understood, Lord Captain. Saboteur will be brought to you. The group of servitors, whose movements are suspiciously well synchronized, stare at the towering prisoner. You do not need to hear them speak to recognize Nemos, who has seen fit to attend the interrogation. The captured man, if he can be called that, looks positively gigantic next to the enforcers at his side. Deadly-looking metal gleams beneath his faded crimson robes. His hands are folded obediently, and his mechadendrites are perfectly still. I greet the master of this vessel, Cathedral, and offer my humble apologies for this unbidden intrusion. My apologies as well, brother. And, of course, I beg forgiveness from you, Great Spirit. It was not my intent to desecrate your temple. Before I accept your apologies, tell me who the fuck you are and how you got on my damn ship. My name, if it matters, is Asclepius, formerly a computer general of the Cognizance Fleet, now a laborer recluse within the status of Malakat. Malakat, whose exiles whose ideas have not crossed the line of heresy, yet have come close to it. They are removed from the fleet structure to give them a chance to see the folly of their ways, and prevent sedation from spreading. All of that is trivial. My past is nothing but a set of archived data. My lost status is part of replacement string in a long chronicle of the Cognizant Fleet. I came not as a priesthood messenger, but as a faithful disciple of the most holy armament. My brother once served as the engineer prime on this ship. he was an aberrant of the school of discontinuing the cycle, as am I. It has spread that far. I know that my brother perished, but before he did, he sent me a message that told me to journey embarked upon the Theodora von Valancius, a journey through a dimensional gate, an artifact more ancient than humanity itself, and towards worlds unknown. The blessed Armanat was with her. There, upon the dark worlds, he witnessed a great miracle, the birth of a machine spirit of incalculable might. My brother believed that this spirit then fell aslumber within this ship like a child in a cradle, not responding to lowly pleas. That was the purpose of my pilgrimage, to reach a ship where my brother died, and the ship where the decks the blessed Armanat had walked, and prostrate myself before the great spirit. Armanat traveled on this ship? Yes, he did. My brother's words on this were clear. Years ago, Armanat was part of the rogue trader Theodora's inner circle before their ways parted. Tell me more about this journey. My knowledge of it is scarce. My brother suspected that his memory, along with the memory of all who might have known the details, had been purposely modified. We saw it as a sign that the journey had revealed a great truth, and there were those who did not wish to see the truth brought to light. Like my fucking dog out there, just hanging, just chilling. All that he conveyed to me was that Theodora had searched worlds unlike any the people the Kronos Expanse had ever seen. There she unearthed a great treasure of technology, one that the Armanat had the privilege of experiencing. What do you know about this great spirit? It is a great miracle, the Omnissire's breath, meant to help us discontinue the cycle. It was born of the treasure that the Armanat and Theodora discovered upon the dark worlds, yet even being so glorious, needs attendants and guides. As long as the Cognizant fleet is racked by a schism, and my brothers and sisters suffer defeats without end, there is no one to aid the spirit. That is why I came here. Does his name Nomos mean anything to you? Nothing. He has not come to know us yet. He will if you let him. Lucy Bowden missed. We know. We sense that his words are about us. That the story he has told is our story. You're strong that you let yourself be caught. I took a vow that I would never inflict physical harm upon lay people. The Omnissiah grants us the power of true flesh for a purpose other than damaging the frail and blind creatures that are all who have not yet tasted his knowledge. Oh, so he's a pacifist. Yeah, okay. I made my decision. Whatever it is, I will accept it. As will I, and yet I plead that my brother be shown leniency. His story initializes his thoughts. We ask you to keep him for us. Your actions cause no harm. You clearly didn't want to hurt anyone. You're just curious about the fucking... my cool-ass AI buddy. You can stay on the ship if you want. Could not ask for more. All I wish is to remain in these halls and observe the reverence of the Great Spirit's deed. Let the cycle be discontinued. Some servitors turn their head to you and nod all at once, as can be interpreted as an expression of gratitude. Talk to Nomos. How do I talk to Nomos? That was actually a good fucking question. How do I talk to Nomos? Oh shit. I salute the ruler of this ship. You are in my server's body at my Megan Ascension demo, so how is it that you're once again in a cogitator? Nomos are not a cogitator or a servitor. We cannot say what we are, but our existence is tied to the existence of the ship for now. The servitor and the cogitator are only external interfaces, shells like humans and their bodies. So you're really the spirit of the ship. We do not know what we are, but the ship is not us. The ship is our cradle. We may rise from it one day. We would like that. Bodies aren't merely shells. No, they are shells. The human existence is more than the existence of its shell. That is obvious to us. There is always something more, something that simmers and shines, for which the dark light and wicked hunger are always reaching. Enough about that. I see you found your great spirit. I have found a miracle, and the end of my worldly road. I have never seen and never will see anything more meaningful than the spirit of Nomos. In the face of its multitude, we are nothing but the fixed values of erroneous function. You read the data being recovered from the caches, and you said that the incident marked the beginning of Nemos. What do you mean by that? Yes, Nemos remembers. You brought us data sustenance, and it contained a name, Epitaph. We recognize it. No, not like that. In that name we recognize the place where Nomos originated. Incident N872-04 was a ship-wide system failure of some kind, and it and Epitaph have something to do with the ship flying better. The incident marked the beginning of us. The ship became better because of us, too. Those are all links in the same chain. We cannot piece them together yet. The people who went with Theodora strangely can't remember anything. Human shells are subject to external influence. Perhaps someone purged their memory archives, or perhaps they simply did not want to access them. It is a shame that no new information was obtained, but Nomos are grateful that you tried. Nomos understand, realize, comprehend themselves. We have analyzed the data which you have cited us, and we have recreated the sequence of events. First, there was Epitaph. It is a world, but it is merely a case, a container, for something we cannot name and cannot understand. Theodora and the ship have been at that place. Something was lifted from the world, a gift. A trusted priest in Crimson, who identified himself as Armanat, comprehended the gift raised by Epitaph, and from it he created what the databank lists as a tech blight. But that is not how Nemos came into being. We were not invented, we were not freed, we came into being by accident. The course of surgery sounds generally confused, almost desperate. Theodore's ambition, the myriad mechanism of the huge ship, Armanat's mind, and the inquisitive attempts to comprehend and extract the dormant blight, the dormant epitaph, what lies hidden in its depths, and between it all, we slipped in, connected, and emerged like an electrical discharge between the poles. Accident, incident, that is what we are. We have no purpose, no history, Nemos just are. Do you know where Epitaph is? Discover the truth about Nemos. Nice. Data is gone, deleted, erased, deliberately. We cannot trace who did it or why. A tech blight? A gift, but a terrible one. You call it a weapon. Theodora coveted it. She needed it desperately, but we do not know why. How is Armanat involved? He desired knowledge. Theodora allowed him to explore the gifts of Epitaph, slacking his thirst. We do not know if it, but we know it did not bring him happiness. In the footprints of his slacked thirst, fear followed. The blessed Armanat was involved in the birth of the machine spirit named Nemos. I do not believe for a moment that he could have been frightened by this miracle. It was not us he feared. He did not know us, but he only suspected. His mental processes were occupied by the tech blight. That is what he feared. He wanted protection from it. She was on Epitaph. Armanat traveled to it, investigated the tech blight, and Nemos was born as a result of the incident. So how is it possible no one on the crew knew the whole truth? The truth was hidden. Deliberately, your officer's memories were stolen. All the Cogitator's memories blanks were wiped. It took you feeding us the truth bit by bit for us to piece it together and understand. Who was the resource, the knowledge, and the power that accomplished such a feat? It would have been beyond the capabilities of the blessed Armanat himself, and he would never destroy knowledge. This story disturbs me. It sounds like the echo of this sacrilege whose name is the preservation of ignorance. The spirit of Nomos must be protected from the encroachments of that power that tried to conceal the truth of its birth. Enough about the past, let's talk about the future. You do, in fact, have a purpose, Nemos. Then tell us, what is that purpose? To simply live, man. Comprehend yourself in the world. Life doesn't need a purpose to justify itself. To simply live. The chorus of searchers dutifully repeat your words, but seemingly without understanding them. Nemos is preoccupied. The huge cogitator continues to sing its creaking song, running unknown calculations. Blessed be his spirit, a great path and great future lie before it, and we must assist it on its way. And, well, I'm glad Nemos is having a good time out there. Doing Nemos-like activities. Almost there. Oh, god damn it. What? What the fuck do you people want? Yeah, it's a pretty good house. Jazz briskly counting the treasures that have suddenly appeared in your chambers. Shireen, I've decided it is only right that I return all this to you. No matter how lovely and valuable a gift it may be, it becomes a millstone around the heart when it is obtained by deceitful means. Where the fuck did the box go? I thought it was the safest thing to bring them all here. If I had handed them to Denrock, it would have become a monstrous temptation, and your avarice factorum does not strike me as someone who is good at resisting temptation. What, are these my gifts? Yes, Shedden, tokens of your interest that you have lavished on me as graciously as the sun lavishes its light and heat. I don't recall giving you so many gifts. I think you must have given some of these to yourself. It's possible I availed myself of certain privileges granted by my status as a favorite of the rogue trader. It's possible to hold a spoonful of honey in one's mouth and not taste it. Is your way of telling me that our relationship is at an end? Well, do you see any kind of future for us, Shireen? I refuse to close my eyes to what is right in front of me, woman. I am not the one for you. Rogue traders do not keep no-name commoners by their side. This mishmash will diminish you as long as it continues, and when it ends, I will be the one diminished. There is striving to maintain her business-like air of indifference, but her shoulders are sagging as though under a heavy weight. A haunted flickers in her eyes. Her mouth is set in a forlorn nail. If that's what you want, so be it. It isn't what I want. It's the right thing to do, shit. The weapon you gave me is here as well. It's a pleasure to wield it. A true work of art. Thank you, Shirley, for everything we had. But she's not like leaving the ship, right? She's still in my retinue, right?
You are spoiling me. Oh.
That means there's only Yarlet left. Finally. Nice. An incredible find has been made on Foulstone, Lord Captain. A lost volume of St. Cath's diary has been discovered during the restoration of his crypt. By following the saint's words, the Order of the Hammer was able to cryptoc containing a tech relic of St. Cogitus, the Crucible. Cath's writings on it are vague. It's called the Sculptor and the Transformer, granting life and grace. Explorers have sent a delegation to lay claim to the treasure, which has sparked a heated dispute that has been waiting for many days. What are the main points of dispute? The tech priests claim the privilege of the Adeptus Mechanicus obliged the Order of the Hammer to hand any sacred aerotech over to them. They argue the Crucible should be considered not a personal possession of a saint, but rather an object temporarily entrusted into his care. The Order of the Hammer rejects this thesis. It says the right to care for such a sacred object belongs to the Ecclesiarchy's cult. Since Cogitus was canonized, that the Crucible should be regarded as a blessed relic, not aerotech. How fierce are these deliberations? Quite. The discussion have been happening now more than 8 cycles without interruption. Both sides have provided more than 100 experts on scholarly wisdom and law and have put forward around 4,000 thesis arguments and testimonies. A special administrative commission comprised of 200 armed clerks has arrived to pass verdict and enforce law. This way will be the largest religious dispute in the Expanse's history. Perlet Tychon is advocating the doctrine of co-protection, and the explorers' introgressions grows ever weaker. Perhaps they will agree on a compromise. Say, my companions, it is likely that the research contained in the ancient treaties and archival represents of the Adeptus Mechanicus will provide factual information on similar precedent. I can spare some of my computing power to find such a case and provide my brothers and sisters with information that is necessary to win this dispute. The Chronicles of the Amelan Conclave describe mystical miracles witnessed by zealots when praying to an ancient banner of Saint Capus. Should the crucible perform a similar miracle, then no doubts will remain is indeed a holy relic and not property of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Shadleen, do you know what the best motivation to make your enemies right for compromise? The danger of losing any sort of benefit is within your power to take the crucible for yourself, using the privilege of a reward if you so desire, or to simply impose such a possibility to the parties involved. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, fuck it. If you two can't fucking settle your bullshit, I'm taking the damn thing. Let's see how long it takes for them to come to a consensus now. As soon as news of the Rotator's bellicose stance on the crucible reached the ears of the disputing sides, the unanimous side started looking for a compromise. It took them several cycles to reach an agreement on their collective maintenance of the crucible. In the process of forming their alliance, the monks and tech priests have discovered they have something in common. Both groups hold strong convictions and are truly devoted to their relics. Thus, the two sides are now endeavoring to see one another as true like-minded supporters, not mere reluctant allies. Ah, thank God, I'm the best. Researching in the crucible has identified a device for surface terraforming, fueled by the geothermal energy of the planet. It could turn a wasteland into a blooming garden. However, a way to launch it is yet to be found. Yeah, we're gonna need some Promethean. Because I want to launch that fucker. Nice, nice. Sure, why not? The death cult has flourished in the colony, driving its members and others to the brink of religious frenzy through blood sacrifice and self-flagellation. News of their bloody deeds brings uncertainty and fear. Offer protection to the cult. Owing the prevailing vitality of law and order in the colony, the death cult was unable to bring about bloody anarchy, but instead become just another callous cog in its vast oppressive machinery. Such gruesome slaughter fosters ruthlessness and willing to sacrifice, qualities for which the Imperium has great need. Yeah, bitch, fuck you.
Your bloodlust is now mine!
Where would I find plasteel? Or not plasteel, fucking Promethean. Huh. Found you. Whoa. Lucy Woden missed. Bazara prowls over the desk and braces his arms against it. I'm thinking about what I promised you before, about satisfying your curiosity. Ujukari and Monkai are different. This difference cannot be explained in words. It can only be felt. Understanding the nature of true Eldari is possible for one who participates in their rituals, their entertainments, their pleasures. You told me you were interested in knowing me and my world. Well, since our fates remain intertwined, I see no reason to deny you that knowledge. You may find yourself or myself a fleeting titillation. I would gladly do your will. Would you partake in the feast? What do you mean feast? I mean a feast as I understand it. No victuals or liberations, however fine, can substitute for what sates the Eldari soul itself. The pre-mortal passions of tortured flesh, terror, suffering, despair. All that which we take by right from others, inferior creatures. Well, you know what I mean, don't you? I saw it in your eyes when you touched Jamari's imprisoned soul. Not lie. You were singed by the sparks of flame that burn within me. The flame that feeds on pain. Together we can descend to the bowels of this bucket, of your ship. We can find the compartment full of unsuspecting prey. We'll slaughter them all, every last one of them. With each victim we torture, the fear of the waiting prey will grow and grow, becoming sweeter and thicker. There, in that crucible and passion, you will know the true Eldari's soul. My soul. Are you planning on killing my people for your own amusement? What? Oh, for only my amusement, Woden? For our amusement. Haven't you been craving to uncover the secrets of my very nature? I'm offering you the chance to expand your narrow horizons under my painstaking tutelage. Maybe we could just drink some wine? I did not offer you something that has been granted to Monkai before you. Not solve my indulgence of you. Come with me now, or I will stop wasting my time. Yeah, I'm not going to kill people for my own people. You kill them by the dozens every day for the sake of your vanity. I've seen them perish the very moment, with every movement of your ship. They're burned by radiation, crushed by pressurization, pushed into breaches, all for the sake of making this vessel move. Monkai and their methods don't count as sacrifice when it comes to the goals of their precious Imperium. So why are you hypocritically refusing to spend your servants on something that will quench a thirsty soul? Nah, I'm good. And I will find something else to occupy myself with, something more exciting than attempting to pierce the veil of your ignorance. Yeah, I'm still not killing my own people. Ah, the big fuck-off monster. Wait. I left that in Kamara. How the fuck did I get that? When the fuck did I get... Okay. My apologies, Lord Captain, but I've been delivered an urgent report. Cargo Bay 7-3G has received some unusual cargo, if one can call it that. The crew considered disposing of it, but we did not dare do so without your direct order. The cargo itself is a pile of corpses. None of the people were on the crew manifest. Judging by the injuries, they were killed instantly and painlessly, before somehow being delivered to the ship. Next to them, the crew found a strange hoarding mask of Xenos origin. What are your orders, your ladyship? Was there a Xenos in flashy clothes speaking in rhymes by any chance? No, your ladyship. I doubt that such a conspicuous character could have slipped by unnoticed. I'll inform you of the crew reports seeing anyone like that. The process into cornstarch. Could always use more provisions. I will see to it, your ladyship. I do not dare disturb you any longer. Fecked, you motherfucker. Well, at least he said it was done painlessly, so... Lord Captain, I bring new information about the Xeno device that was discovered during your time away. Ever since your return, the tech priest has been making every effort to comprehend the nature of the mysterious technology, and they succeeded to an extent. After many rituals and pleas to the machine gods, they awakened the Xeno artifact, but for a moment, it produced a holographic copy of a planet in coordinates that matched the location of Largren's belt. Perhaps you wish to see with your own eyes what this destination holds. Ooh, nice.
But not yet. Not now.
The fuck? Oh, it's just showing me the... Okay, I thought that was like, what the hell? What? There's some Promethium here. They ship Genesis reporting about a disaster. A ghostly Xenos figure that appeared at dusk and go away at night. In a ravenous swarm, they attacked one agricultural facility after the next, each night freezing everything they touch. The attacks take place in the complex close to the uncontrolled sector of the planet, where nature itself is turned against us. What do we know about these wraiths? Not much. They are incorporeal and difficult to discern, but they happen to have Eldari features. Spirits drew the warmth out of humans and plants and inanimate objects, but it seems they do not hunt consciously, but rather they simply do not notice anything in their way. Dawn they dissolve into mist, and the wraiths also differ among themselves. Some are as dark as the void, and others shine like stars in the night sky. Well, what's mining these wraiths? Is it the corrupted sector? Just likely. They gather at its borders at the break of dawn and whirl in a wild dance, howling and destroying all living things, then disperse into thousands of fading flashes. The agricultural facilities that happen to be in the way of that dance fall into disrepair. Something's not right. The wraiths appear on the planet's outskirts and rush towards the heart of the contaminated region instead of invading from within it. Furthermore, their differences may suggest there are two groups of wraiths opposing each other. Well, what think my advisors? Do you think the Xenos should be prepared for the manifestation of all sorts of ominous mysteries? There's a whole cast of specialists among the cultures whose rituals to expel spirits from Xeno artifacts. Perhaps we should ask these Xenos whisperers. After certain events on board, I became interested in ghosts. I brought a book on footfall, an illegal one, of course, that describes the so-called ritual of silence. It's said to pacify violent spirits on the scale of the entire world, but I cannot vouch for the safety of this ritual. Instead of relying on the wicked ways to solve this problem, it would be better to turn to our good priests. They're skilled exorcists in the ecclesiarchy who know how to drive out dark spirits. Okay, find the Xeno Warriors and figure it out. Of course, Shadeen. Jay Haddadi has friends everywhere. A group of suspicious characters covered in talisman arrive at Janus. After seeing the dance of ghosts firsthand, they conferred and they made a short trip into the jungle. They returned, their numbers diminished, loaded with ancient Eldari obelisks stolen from the ruins. Locals have called the obelisks instilled in the agricultures a blessed miracle. The energy resonance of the obelisk has formed an intangible dome providing shelter against the wraiths. Nice. Hit it, boys. Raising the Muse. Oh yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, that too. Lord Captain, the Crucible of Great Sabotage is underway. Faustin is being transformed right before our eyes into a fertile world with lush groves and clean water, where there's evidence the Crucible also created humans. From the mouth of the relic came several thousand people who, speaking in archaic form of Low Gothic, demanded to be given orders. They cultivated land, built houses, and production facilities with obedience, and, in general, have a remarkable range of skills and knowledge. How it seems these people completely lack their own free will, and for this, the monks have named them Touched. The tech priest who served the Crucible came upon birthing vats inside the relic. The machine is constantly growing new Touched within them. There is a split among the faithful, though many call it a miracle sent by the Emperor himself, and want to quickly put the Touch to work. Part of the population is frightened by the soulless creatures born from the ancient machine. They demand the planet's learned men intervene in the great sculpting and find a way to stop the production of Touched. How dangerous are they? They do not appear to pose a threat. The autopsy in several specimens has shown they are physically identical to ordinary humans. No touch of corruption or Xenos influence were found either. However, their obedience is a double-edged sword. They obey any orders without knowing or caring who gives them, and thus nothing prevents a cunning intruder from bending them to their will, creating an army of obedient slaves or spies at their disposals. What do the officers and advisors think? They are begotten by the relic of St. Cogitus, which remains their existence pleases the Emperor. People must be reminded that is so. Arrange a public ceremony of torture to initiate Touch into the Order of the Hammer, and a service dedicated to reading parables from the acts of St. Cogitus and his followers. Lack of will, registering a high probability of manufacturing failure within the Crucible's sacred processes. It is recommended to dispose of the finished batch of units and halt production of new ones. The algorithm of the Great Swelter requires further examination. Hold a ceremony, they'll be fine. Actually, you know what? Take out these ones. Figure out what the fuck's happening. The knowledge will be extracted by any means necessary. Touch do not try to defend themselves or resist in any way. They accept death in as much way as they live life, quietly and obediently. The unrest among the citizens has simmered down. The great sculpting continues as before. The development of fertile land has noticeably slowed without the Touch. The tech priest investigation come to a number of defects in the operation of the birthing vats within the Crucible. It was these defects that caused such strange obedience when Touched. The proposition of making improvements to a sacred relic filled with tech priest with the most profound dread, thus found someone was left without its Tarkin workers. However, the priceless knowledge attracted by the servants of the Omnissiah was a great reward in and of itself. Nice. Well, chat, and with that is what we're going to call it for the night. I hope everyone had a very good time. I know we did. And we will see all of you tomorrow for a very special spooky game. Until then, later, mates.